not only am I streaming live, but now we have started recording. So again, welcome Aldine Live. This is the show entitled Google Assignments in Schoology. My name is Kimberly Acito Tanig, and I'm one of the elementary DLSs in the district. And running the chat today is Anne, and she is a middle school DLS in the district. At this time, if you want to take a moment to sign in, you can either scan this barcode to sign in, or you can use that bit.ly to sign in. And there's also a copy of this presentation that you may have to reference in the future as needed. So Anne will be dropping all of that good stuff in the chat for you. If during this presentation you have any questions or comments, you're going to have to place those into the chat. That chat is also available on that spreadsheet. It says link to back channel. We are using YoTeach for that chat. Once you're in the chat, you click on that link. It's going to ask you for a password to get into the chat room, and the password is Aldine123. And all you need to do to post any comments or questions is in this box, type it up, and then you will hit right here, send, and Anne will be able to reply. So I hope everybody has a good idea of what that chat room looks like. So today we are going to be covering Schoology and the G Suite integration. Our objectives is we want to make sure that you understand how easy it is to pull in all the different platforms in your G Suite, like slides, docs, draw, into your Schoology courses. That way the students can work on these items to be turned in. You can get feedback on these items as they're working on them. It's a great way to communicate with your students while they're going through their work, just like monitoring in your classrooms. So we're going to start with how to get that Google integration or your Drive connected to your Schoology. When you are in Schoology, you will come up here to the Resources button, and you will go to the Google Drive Resource app. As part of this presentation, we have an IRAD that takes you through the steps. It's a simulation of how to do that, so you can reference that at a later time. What I'm going to do now is go into the Schoology course and show you how to do that live. So in order to make sure that your Drive is connected to your Schoology account, and this is the same for students too, you may need to go up to the Resources tab, and you will click over on the Apps icon to the far left. Once that is fully loaded, you will click on Google Drive Resource App. And you can see I have it already installed. If it was not installed, it would ask me to connect to my app. So I would have to confirm that my username, and I would have to type in my password, and then it's going to integrate Google Drive with Schoology. So again, for reference at a later date, that IRAD is available for you within this presentation. So I am going to show you today how to add assignments from your Google Drive. You will do that by going to Add Materials. You're going to add an assignment. Of course, we're going to fill in our title, description box as needed with directions, maybe some course materials that go with it. And here is the most important button. This is where you will connect to your Google Drive to add those assignments. If you are utilizing Google Drive assignments, you definitely will have to do that in each course that you do. So even if you have filled out the title and description, and then you copy it to a course, all this information, your title and your description and your due date category, all of that information copies over into that course. However, the Google Drive assignment does not. So you will need to go into that course, go into edit that assignment, and then you will have to click on this button and add it back in again. It will therefore make a copy for every student within that course. So that is why you can't just copy it all over, because what you need to do is you need to add it in when you are inside each course. Therefore, it will add a copy for every student within that course. So let me give you a demo on that. So here I am within my Schoology course, and I've already got this folder for assignments here that I'm going to be adding some items. And the first example I'm going to show you is how to bring in a Google Doc into my course. So I will go to Add Materials, and I will go to Add Assignment. From here, I'm going to go ahead and type in what my assignment is. Maybe give some directions. And then here is that button I need to push so I can go grab that assignment. It's connecting to my Google Drive. If I don't see it here, I can just do a quick search for it. So here is the assignment that I want to add. I'm going to attach it. And it has now made a copy of this assignment for every member of my course. So all the students I have. So I will come in here and select a due date and a category and create. Anything you add to your course will come down here at the bottom. So right now, here is that Google Drive assignment that I've added in, capitalization warm-up. Let's take a peek at what it looks like on the teacher side. So on the teacher side, I can see the assignment, and then I can see in progress. Here are a list of the members of my course. And at this time, I just added this, so no, nobody has opened this document yet. So I have nobody in progress. So therefore, I also don't have any submissions. Nobody has completed and submitted the assignment to me. Now I do want to show you what this looks like on the student end. So I'm going to come in here now as a student. This person is a student in my course. And if I go to the folder where I placed that assignment, he at this time will be able to find that. So here is that capitalization warm-up. Here is the assignment description with the directions. He clicks on the document and it will load. So now here he has his assignment. He can start to fill it out. Okay. Now I'm going to jump over back into the teacher view and show you the in progress, because now I have a little change. As I go through my students, I can click on this student and I can see that this student is currently working on this document, and I can see whatever he has placed in there. So I could actually come in here and leave a comment and give feedback. If they need a redirection, if they're doing a great job, I can do that at this time. Okay. So again, that's adding a Google Doc into Schoology so that the students can work on it live and I can give them the feedback. When that student is done, he can hit submit, and then I can go in and grade that assignment based on the category that I've selected. So I'm going to do another example for you. And in this time, what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you building an assignment out, add assignment for 3D shapes. Maybe I want to include an anchor chart to reference. I have to think about where I put my anchor chart. Yeah. Well, let's just go ahead and pull that one in. So again, you can add any directions in here, reference materials, but the most important thing, what we're showing you today, is this Google Drive assignments. So the one I'm pulling in this time happens to actually be a sheet, a Google Sheet. So here it pops up, and I'm going to attach that. And again, I have to make sure I put in all my information, my due date, the category. Go ahead and create. And now here is the assignment. This example does show you that they can come in here and fill this out and then submit it back to you. Okay, so on the presentation that I shared with you, I also shared some certain links with you so that you have an example of some of these items. So here is the capitalization warm-up that I just showed for a doc example. Here is that sheet one that we just showed. Now I'm going to use a slide example. So within my course, I've already started to build my social studies language arts lesson right here in this folder, studying the fight for racial equality in America. This one's a very timely lesson, and I want to thank Eric Furrer from North Carolina for sharing this information and lesson with me. He did share it with me, and so on the lesson that I shared with you, you do want to keep his information at the bottom. So at this point, I'm asking them to do a Venn diagram. So here's all the directions. I'm going to add materials and go to add assignment so I can pull in that Venn diagram. There it is. Again, you fill out all the same details you normally do. So again, on the teacher side, here's my document. I can see the progress, I can see submissions. On the student side, if you were to go into that assignment, here is all his directions, what a Venn diagram is, what questions he should be answering. When he clicks here, he's going to be able to open up that Venn diagram and fill it out. Okay. So from here, maybe he's done and he submits the assignment. So on that teacher view, when I go into my submissions, I'm going to see that I have an assignment submitted now. And there I can see he has submitted the assignment. And I can go ahead and give him some assessments on that. And then last but not least, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to add materials, add assignment this time, not assessment, sorry about that. Add assignment. And this time I'm going to pull in Google Slide. Again, you're going to fill in your directions, click on that drive. Do a search in your drive. It's a lot easier to do a search because, you know, once you get so many items in your drive, you don't want to have to keep scrolling to find it. I do like to mark my originals that they are originals because you can see I have given this assignment before and I have information from my prior students. It's a good hint right there. I'm going to go ahead and attach that. Select my due date, category, and create it. Okay. So we've given you how to connect to your Google Drive in Schoology. We've given you different examples of using Google Docs or Google Sheets, Google Slides, and the last one we're going to do is a draw example. And I'm going to use this fantastic Halloween magnetic poetry from Casey Bell. So I've already started to create my lesson for my assignments. Similes and metaphors. She did a great job creating this magnetic poetry in Google Draw. What I did is I went in there and I added the words is and as so I could create and use make it into a metaphor, a simile and metaphor lesson with my students. So here I've already started to build the background and put in the videos that they're going to watch. And then I am going to go ahead and edit this lesson so that I can add this document in. Google Drive. Okay, so here's my Halloween magnetic poetry. And so now when the students get this, they can come open it and they can start using Draw. They can put their name here and then they can start to move these around and create a sentence. I'm asking them to create a simile or a metaphor. And then I did give directions that they could go ahead and delete all the extra words that they did not use. As a bonus, I did share with you some Google Forms that you can use for daily check-ins. So that's really all there is to it for integrating your Google Drive into your Schoology course. I hope you've been able to see some good examples and a little bit on the student view. I know Anne's shared this presentation with you. I don't know if some people might want to see the student view a little bit more. I know that's the one that we don't get to see that often. So again, on the student view, you will come in and take a look and open up an assignment. They will click on My Document. This one has some background. It has directions and video to watch, and it does tell them if they need to undo, gives them a reminder. You can open up that document, and he can work in here. So he has already done some work in here prior, so he can just come in and pick up where he left off. And that's the beautiful thing too with all of this, is that if a student needs to leave, it saves everything they've done, all of their progress, and they just come back in when they can to finish it up. If he feels that he is finished with the assignment, he can submit that assignment. Then I, as the teacher, I can go into that assignment. When I click on In Progress, I do see all the students that are in my class. When I click on Submissions, I can see that he has submitted the assignment. If I feel he needs to go ahead and finish, I can leave him a note right here. So I can unsubmit this and send it back to him since he's not quite finished with that item. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much a good wrap of bringing in Google Drive assignments into your Schoology courses. There were lots of examples of both Google Docs and we have examples of using Google Sheets. Here I even have an example of using Google Slides to create flashcards. So there's math vocabulary on here that I just put together, and you put the word on one slide, and then the very next slide you're going to give that definition and give the directions to tell the students to go ahead and present mode, and they can go through and practice their vocabulary. All right, well, I'm hoping that we don't have a lot of questions. I know that Anne's been over there answering questions. You do have a copy of this presentation. So you do have some of those resources. If you choose to remix them, you may do that and make them your own. Make them work for your lessons and your students. If you need any additional help, please reach out to your campus DLS. We are happy to train and help anybody in their endeavors. We are so excited to be working with you guys again this year. I can't believe the school year is already starting. If you have not had a chance to sign into this session yet, you want to go ahead and make sure that you do that. And I know that Anne has also shared the back channel, the link for the form to fill out, where you're going to place the code for your badge. And then once you fill out that form and get your badge, you can copy that badge by right-clicking on that badge and then pasting it into your template. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Everyone asking for badge code, it is pinned at the top of the chat. So just go to the top of the chat and the badge code is pinned up there and all the links are pinned up there at the top, guys.
Thank you, Anne. Well, that is a wrap this session. And do you see any pressing questions over something that I may have not covered that we could jump in and do before we exit out?
No, ma'am, I think that was pretty good.
Well, I appreciate everybody's attentiveness today. All right, well, then that's a wrap. Thank you so much, everyone.